Y'all, let me tell you about the day my whole world turned upside down. Like a glass of sweet tea spilling all over creation. It was hotter than a griddle in hell that Tuesday morning in July, and I was already 3 cups of coffee deep before the sun even thought about peeking over the horizon. Working the breakfast shift at Magnolia's diner ain't exactly what dreams are made of, but it pays the bills and keeps a roof over my head here in Austin. I'd been pouring coffee and flipping eggs at this little joint for going on 2 years now, ever since I moved down from Dallas. Magnolia's sits right on the edge of downtown, catching all sorts of folks. Construction workers, grabbing quick bites before heading to job sites. Office people needing their caffeine fix, and the occasional tourist who wandered off the beaten path. The owner, Miss Ruby, she's good people. Never asked too many questions when I applied, just looked me in the eye and said, "Can you work hard and treat my customers right?" When I said yes, ma'am, that was that. Being a trans woman in Texas ain't always easy, but Austin's got a way of embracing all kinds, and this little diner became my safe haven. The regulars knew me, respected me, and I'd built up a good rapport with most everyone who came through those doors. My curly black hair was always pulled back in a neat ponytail, and I kept my uniform crisp and clean. Miss Ruby always said presentation mattered, and I took pride in looking professional, even if I was just slinging hash. That particular morning started like any other. Old Pete was in his usual booth by the window, nursing his black coffee and complaining about the Rangers pitching. The Martinez family had their regular table, kids chattering away in Spanish, while Mama tried to get some eggs into 'em before school. Everything was normal, routine, comfortable. Then the bell over the door chimed, and in walked Trouble in a perfectly pressed suit. Lord have mercy. I was wiping down the counter when I looked up and saw him, tall as a Texas oak and twice as sturdy. Had to be at least 6'4", with shoulders that could probably carry the weight of the world. His hair was the color of wheat fields in summer, and when he looked around the diner, I caught sight of eyes bluer than a hill country sky after a storm. He was wearing one of those expensive-looking gray suits that probably cost more than I made in 2 months, and he carried himself with the kind of confidence that comes from knowing exactly where you belong in this world. My heart started beating like a hummingbird's wings, and I had to grip the counter to steady myself. In all my 34 years, I'd never had such an immediate gut punch reaction to another person. It was like getting struck by lightning, except instead of pain, all I felt was this warm electric current running through my whole body. He found himself a booth in my section, the corner one with the red vinyl seats that had seen better days, but still held their charm. I smoothed down my apron and walked over with my coffee pot, hoping my voice wouldn't shake when I spoke. "Morning," I said, proud that I sounded steady. "Coffee to start you off?" When he looked up at me, that smile of his could have powered the whole diner. "Yes, ma'am, that'd be perfect. And could I get a menu?" His voice had this deep, warm quality to it, like good whiskey on a cold night. Professional, but not stuffy, with just a hint of an accent I couldn't quite place. Maybe Northeast, but softened around the edges. "Of course, sugar," I said, filling his cup and setting a menu down in front of him. "I'm Jasmine, and I'll be taking care of you this morning. You take anything in that coffee?" "Black's fine." Thank you, Jasmine. The way he said my name, like he was tasting something sweet, made my knees wobble just a little. I'm Darius. Well, Darius, you take your time looking over that menu. Everything's made fresh, and Miss Ruby in the kitchen makes the best biscuits this side of the Colorado River. Oh, I forced myself to walk away before I started babbling like a fool, but I could feel his eyes following me. Over the next few minutes, I kept finding reasons to drift by his table, refilling water glasses nearby, wiping tables that were already clean, anything to catch another glimpse of him. When I finally went back to take his order, he was studying the menu like it contained the secrets of the universe. Having trouble deciding? I asked, pen poised over my order pad. Actually, yes. I'm not usually much for breakfast. Usually just grab coffee and go. But this place smells incredible, and I figured I should probably eat something substantial before court today. You're a lawyer? The words slipped out before I could stop them, and I felt heat creep up my neck. He grinned, and good Lord, that smile was dangerous. Guilty as charged. Defense attorney, actually. Got a case starting at 9, and my usual coffee shop was closed for renovations. Lucky for me, I would have missed out on this place entirely. Well then, we better get you fed proper. You can't go defending folks on an empty stomach. I leaned in just slightly, lowering my voice like I was sharing state secrets. Between you and me, the chicken and waffles will change your life. Miss Ruby makes these buttermilk waffles that are light as clouds, and the fried chickens got this perfect crispy coating with just enough spice to wake up your taste buds. Sold, he said immediately. And could I get some of those famous biscuits on the side? Honey, you don't have to ask twice. I'll get that order right in. As I walked away, I caught myself swaying my hips just a little more than usual. Not too much, just enough. Behind me, I heard him chuckle, and the sound sent warmth spreading through my chest. The next 20 minutes were pure torture.